Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. So in the previous video in our Tablespace management and Oracle database, we have learned that how data gets stored in Oracle database, and we have understood the physical structure of uh, storage of Oracle database. So in this video, we are going to learn about the default tablespaces available in Oracle database. So while creation of the database, uh, there are some default tablespaces available, so we are going to explore about them. So at the first it comes system tablespace. It contains the data dictionary and tables that contain the administrative information about the database, and not all the users can have access to this system tablespace. You cannot rename this or drop this tablespace, or you cannot even take the system tablespace offline. And normally we can store the user data in a system tablespace, but it is not recommended. It is not recommended to store any kind of user data in system tablespace. It is purely used by the Oracle servers to store all its administrative informations and data dictionary tables. And the next is SysAux, that means System Auxiliary Tablespace. This is an auxiliary tablespace to the system tablespace from Oracle. The system auxiliary tablespace is a mandatory. Some of the components and product which are previously stored in the system tablespace are now stored in auxiliary system tablespace. The system tablespace has this means this auxiliary tablespace has the same properties of a system tablespace. Neither you can drop, neither you can rename it, and neither you can bring it offline. And our next tablespace is temporary tablespace. So this tablespace is used to store all our temporary data. So whenever we are executing any SQL statement of our Oracle database, so whether that SQL statement will execute a merge operation or a sort operations, or it requires some data to read. So all these operations where it will be storing, it will be capturing the temp tablespace and it will be performing their operations. Next, coming to our one of the permanent tablespaces, that is undo TVS one. So naturally what happens whenever we are performing any transactions, and so we are manipulating our data, so the undo data should be there until we commit on the database level. So during the database recovery, undo records are used to undo any uncommitted changes applied from the redo log to the data files. So undo records provided read consistency by maintaining the before image. That means whenever we are performing any changes, so the opposite thing, that means that suppose we are changing one column name Ram to Sham. So until unless we are committing the data that Ram to Sham will be committed, so the before image, that means Sham to Ram will be there in the undo segments, and until once we commit, it will be in Sham only. So it will be cleared. The undo TVS will be cleared after the commit of the operation. And coming to our next tablespace, that is users. So whenever we are creating any users over the database, so it will by default it will be consuming users tablespace. But it doesn't mean that we cannot have different tablespaces for different users. Yes, obviously we can have. We'll definitely look into that thing in our upcoming videos in our practical approaches. So yeah, by default when we are creating any user, that default tablespace of that users will be users, and the data of the specific users will be stored under the data files of users tablespace. So hope you have learned something. If you have learned, share this video with your colleague or with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to uh, see other videos as well. Thank you very much.